timekeeper, my co-debaters, and my fellow students. My name is Umayo Gagana from the prestigious Department of Biochemistry. I'm here to support the notion we say Nigeria's government's inability to obey the court orders has played a significant role in the dehumanization of Nigerians in diaspora. Now, I'm going to be defining 4 major key points: the Nigerian government, the courts, dehumanization, and Nigeria in diaspora. The Nigerian government consists of 3 key branches, which is the legislative, the executive, and judicial, which constitutes of the National Supreme Court, the President, the Federal Court, which constitutes of the President, the Federal Court, and the Supreme Court, which is vested with the power in the Nigerian Constitution. The court, what's the court? A court is an institution which has the power to judge between parties, and then it also helps in the administrative matters in accordance with the rule of law. What is dehumanization? Dehumanization is the process of depriving a person or a group of people with positive human equal rights. Now, what is dehumanization in this context? This is the mental state of Nigerians related to the federal government, and this is also the attitude of national foreign bodies towards Nigerians. Now, with this, how is it that the lack of Nigeria's government's obedience towards the courts and the rules has affected Nigerians in diaspora? Now, number 1, the application of jobs and denial of good jobs in Nigeria. Now, imagine your fellow brothers and sisters in Nigeria, what is the job that they give to them? Washing dead bodies, gardeners, hires. They are selling tickets in train stations. Now, this is because the Nigerian government cannot play or obey the courts and the judgment of the courts. Now, an example is Omole Sowore, which is a former presidential candidate and also the CEO of Sahara's Report, which is an online news platform. He was arrested on August 3rd, 2019 by the Department of State Services in Lagos and then was transferred to Abuja. The DSS obtained a 45 days detaining order, which is called an ex parte, and then, can you imagine, just 24 hours to the end of the 45 days, the attorney of the Federation Office went and accused him of treasonable felony, cyber crimes, and also money laundering. How would you do that to your own fellow brother just before he was released? Then his lawyer, Femi Fonano, his lawyer, Femi Fonano, ordered for his bail according to the agreed time, and the Supreme Court, which was handled by Justice Taiwo of the Federal High Court of Abuja, granted him the bail. What did Sowore do? Sowore was very angry, and then he filed a case of contempt against the DSS boss, Yusuf Bishi, for him not agreeing or complying to the agreed time of his bail. Can you imagine this thing now? Foreign investors in other countries are seeing us. They are watching us. If you cannot respect your own brother, how is it that other people can respect you? Now, for my second point, the mental and physical and psychological breakdown of Nigerians abroad. Let me just jump to the final point. This is the beating of Senator Ike Ekweremadu. The beating of Senator Ike. Now, just imagine if you heard that your brother or your sister was beaten in Nigeria unjustly. How would you feel? I rest my case.
To find logic to evil is to give evil room to thrive. To compel Nigerians to believe that dehumanization in diaspora is somehow the fault of their government, and by extension their fault, is the combination of bias and insensitivity. The panel of judges, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Omoduni Martha, representing the Department of Judiciary and International Studies, opposing the motion that the Nigerian government's inability to obey court order has played a significant role in the dehumanization of Nigerians in diaspora. First, let's define the key terms: dehumanization and diaspora. Method Center describes dehumanization as when individuals or groups are seen as unequal, that they are subjected to racial, ethnic, national, or interpersonal stigmatization, violence, or support for violence against others. Diaspora is defined as a large group of people with the same heritage or homeland who have since moved to places all over the world. Now, arguing that the government's inability to obey court order has played a role in the dehumanization of Nigerians in diaspora is synonymous to the epidemic of victim blaming. You see, it is wrong It is wrong to empower the perpetrators of evil by conjuring excuses to justify their actions in order to create sense out of a senseless disregard for humanity. Let's call a spade a spade. The dehumanization meted out to Nigerians in diaspora is only as a result of the innate desire of mankind to do evil whenever the chance presents itself, regardless of how rational or irrational it is. Take for instance South Africa. It's a historical fact that the trauma experienced by South Africans during the period of apartheid metamorphosed them into a people with a pattern of violent outbursts only in recent times meted out to Nigerians. Now, before Nigerians became a target, South Africans used to turn on their own citizens who they suspected to be in allegiance to the apartheid government. Now, the case of xenophobia is only a case of an insecure, traumatized people who seek any channel to express the abundance of rage festing in their hearts. You see, the epidemic of victim blaming compels us to look within ourselves and begin to ask ourselves how someone else could be oppressive towards us like it's somehow our fault. Victim blaming is blaming the black man for remaining slaves, when we should be blaming the Europeans for coming to our world and snatching us away in the most wicked of ways. Saying that the government's inability to obey court order has contributed to the maltreatment of Nigeria in diaspora is also synonymous to the case of a lady who was sexually assaulted. You see, we tend to focus on what she was wearing, where she was, or what time of the day it was. Rather, we forget to focus on the audacity of another human being who lacks so much self-control and respect for another person that violates her in that manner. Conclusively, Nigerians, when you hear that Nigerians are being dehumanized in diaspora, don't be fed with the lie that it is as a result of government's inability to obey court laws. Instead, our stance should be to unite as one people, fueled by the nationalistic rage, confronting our dehumanizers with the simple question of, how dare you?
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Anya Gochidota. I'm here to represent the second speaker of the biochemistry department, picking up from where my first speaker stopped. I shall be saying on the following matters. First of all, the issue is no new news that Nigeria living in diaspora has issues with self-employment, online employment, and even traditional employment. Even the acquisition of clients is an issue. Why? Because they have seen Nigeria as a country of fraudsters. How can this image be painted? Because our governments have refused to follow due court orders. And you may ask for an example. I can give you one. In the Narimali case right now, the one that was trending presently like last month or so, Narimali is a famous Nigerian musician, and he was caught to be engaging in acts of fraud. And yes, he was only detained for about a week, and then was released under the name that he paid a bill of about 3 million naira, which is wrong because constitutionally speaking, he's supposed to be held in prison for about 3 years or at least. And therefore, how can you now say that when Nigerians move outside, they can be respected and be allowed to be employed, or people can patronize their businesses when they have seen that they are coming from a country where fraudulent activities are indirectly being hosted by the government? And you want to tell me that it's not possible that the government don't have a part to play in the dehumanization of Nigerians? Second of all, my opponents might tell you otherwise, but it's without a doubt speaking that people on their own are capable of doing good and evil. And when the individuals chosen to represent a particular nation are now the ones perpetrating deeds that are unlawful, they are not following due processes of the legal system, they are not following court orders, how can you now come and tell me that doesn't have a part to play in how their citizens are treated outside? Charity begins at home. If at home you cannot behave properly, how can then treat you outside when you're in in a foreign land? You cannot be treated better than when you are treated at home. Now that's my rest my case. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. I am Okoye Olomachuku Joanne, a 200-level student of the Department of History and International Studies. Has the government of Nigeria ever disobeyed a court order? Yes, it has. Has the disobedience of this court order led to the dehumanization of our fellow brothers and sisters in the diaspora? Absolutely not. Let's push rhetoric aside for a moment and look into the history of Nigeria and examine facts. Has there been any particular time when the disobedience of a particular court order by our Nigerian government has led to the dehumanization of our fellow brothers and sisters in the diaspora? In recent times, the Nigerian government has disobeyed court orders of the release of Sorore from the hands of the DSS. This disobedience led to the movement of well-meaning Nigerian citizens and also international body, not only to pry into the case of Sorore, but into other cases such as the case of Ibrahim El Zakazaki. I have gone through various news reports from prominent news stations all around the world, and there hasn't been any single incident of the dehumanization of Nigerian citizens in diaspora linked to disobedience of court orders by our Nigerian government. As a learned student of history, I have learned that for you to be able to make strong allegations, you must have a pattern of occurrences that you could build your theory on. Secondly, also a pattern of occurrence that has a direct link to the disobedience of court orders to that of the dehumanization of Nigerians in the diaspora. Listen, don't grasp after the wind. Don't twist the narrative to suit your propaganda. If you ever find actual points that can buttress this action, come back again and let's have this debate. Until then, there is no
existing protocols. My name is Oladipo Olarinwaju. I'm here to provide a solution to the dehumanization and maltreatment on Nigerians abroad. Nigerians have been deported from Great Britain and from many countries of the European Union many times. Mention can be made of the xenophobic attacks to which innocent individuals has been made and still subjected to South Africa. A study has shown that most Nigerians in diaspora rather endure inhumane activities than in their host countries rather than return home. However, a more independent judiciary would be free to violently compel other arms of government to obey court orders within this country or within these confines of law. With this point, we hope we've been able to let you know that Nigerian government's inability to obey court orders has played a significant role in the dehumanization of Nigerians in diaspora. Thank you.
Standing on the existing protocol, I am Karen Duke, representing the Department of History and International Studies. Dehumanization is pure hate, and non-compliance by the Nigerian government to court order has absolutely nothing to do with the vile treatment of Nigerians in diaspora. Delegitimizing and categorizing Nigerians into extreme negative social groups such as drug peddlers, human traffickers, 419, and Yahoo men is dehumanization. Now, Nigerians are being stigmatized based on ethnicity, race, language, culture, migrant status, human anatomy, and even the concept of the black and white has played and is still playing a very significant role in dehumanization of Nigerians in diaspora. Simply put, people no longer see one another as people. They see clans, they see groups, they see tribes, they see the in-groups and the out-groups, the us and the them. Haven't you noticed this yourself? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. That's a good start. It's not very difficult to start, but you tried, you did very well. The attempt you have put in to establish the fact that you did not take over what you were asked to do. I have one or two comments here. One is on what we call overgeneralization. The first speaker from biochemistry, overgeneralization in the sense that Nigerians abroad are connected to lineage job and you don't call the other ones. You can't say that because you can't substantiate that. There are many Nigerians that are respected and have quality jobs that do. The same Nigerians are. So pick exactly a set of Nigerians that you can address and will be able to defend. Next is also the issue of second speaker too. Nigerians are deported from South Africa and other places. What do they do in such situations as this? Pick instances, pick statistics, and relate that to the point you are making. Not just saying because you want to say, as in open air. If instances of those that have been affected and deported or treated or dehumanized on the basis of what is happening, it's not just for you alone, for every other department that is there. Once you're making a point, substantiate that point with facts, with figures, with illustrations, experiences of people in relation to that point you're making. Then the other one is
biochemistry and history. Biochemistry, 3, come together, exchange pleasantries. Where are they? Hug, hug, brotherly love, brotherly love. History, no, biochemistry, 365 points.